Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our beloved lecturer, Professor Fazli, Dr. Rosnani, and also Dr. Masura. My name is M.H.FARIS bin Johari from Group 16. Okay, so today our group want to represent our project for this course, which is our project is calculating the quantity of materials and costing to build a brick walls. Okay, so we don't want to waste time, so we go to the next. Okay, so the first of all, we start with the abstract for this project. So we create the function files in MATLAB online to calculate quantity of materials and costing to build a brick wall. We use the function and type our data or input in the comma window, and we will get the output or results. This program is used to calculate the quantity of material want to use and cost to spend for construct brick wall. Okay, so we go to the next slide. So now next we discuss about introduction of this project. So nowadays many areas used to develop the construction works, especially construct the brick walls for buildings. From construction works, we require some materials to construct the brick walls, such as brick, cement, and sand, or etc. But construction work become issue because of the wastage of materials can cause the increase of the cost. So from data regarding usage of materials used to construct is essential or important before construction works do uh, to avoid uh, more wastage of material can cause the increase of the cost. Okay, that's all from me. So we go to the next person.
My name is Wong Xingyun, and now I'm going to talk about the problem statements of this program. So nowadays, there are many areas will be used to develop construction work. In construction works, we require bricks, sands, and also cement to construct buildings. This calculation is to calculate the numbers of bricks, sands, and cement to be used, and also the price of these materials in order to avoid wastage of materials. By the way, the wrong calculation of materials will cause delay in completion of projects and increase the budgets in costing extra materials. Next is the objective of this program. The first is to develop our skills in software programming by solving problems in familiar mathematical notation. Second is to facilitate the calculation of the number of bricks, sands, and cement that will be used. The third is to compare the calculation of quantity materials using MATLAB and manual calculations. The fourth, to facilitate the calculation of total costing of materials.
Hello, my name is Tan Yi. I will continue the presentation about the data analysis or the coding of this project. First of all, we have prepared 11 function files for this program for our calculation. The first function that we use is to calculate the volume, which is length times the height times the width. The second function that we use is to calculate the dimension of the brick with mortar. All the dimension of the brick have added by the thickness of mortar, which is 0.01 meter. The third function file that we use is to calculate the number of bricks, which is the volume of wall in meter cubic is divided by the volume of brick with mortar in meter cubic. Continue, the fourth function file is used to calculate the quantity of mortar required each brick in meter cubic, which is the volume of brick with mortar in meter cubic minus the volume of brick in meter cubic. The next function is used to calculate the total quantity of mortar used for total number of bricks, which is the total number of bricks times the quantity of mortar required for each brick that is already calculated by using the function before. while the function below is used to calculate the dry volume of mortar, which is added the 33% of weight volume of mortar to the total quantity of mortar used for the total number of bricks. The function above is used to calculate the total quantity of the materials, which is the bricks, cement, sand, and the mortar, by adding the wastage of the materials to the quantity of the materials. Next, the function below is used to calculate the total number of bricks by adding the wastage of the bricks into the number of the bricks. The following function above is used to calculate the quantity of materials which are the sand and the cement. The total quantity of dry volume of mortar times the ratio of the material over the total ratio of the materials. Then the function below is used to calculate the weight of the material which are sand and the cement by the total quantity of materials times the density of the materials. Lastly, we use the last function to calculate the costing of the materials that we use by the quantity of the materials times the price of the materials in Ringgit Malaysia, so that we can get the total cost of the materials. This is one of the examples that we use as the input data to test our function for our program, and finally we will get the output of the result for the calculation. Firstly, we will need to calculate the volume of the wall and the volume of the brick by using the function that we have prepared. And then we will need to calculate the dimension of the brick with mortar, which is the length of brick with mortar, the height of brick with mortar, and the width of brick with mortar. After calculate all the dimension, we will need to calculate the volume of the brick with mortar. Next, we will also need to calculate the number of bricks. Continue, we will need to calculate the total number of bricks by adding the wastage percentage of the bricks. And the following, we will need to calculate the quantity of mortar. And then the next, we also will need to calculate the total quantity of mortar used for total number of bricks. And again, we need to calculate the dry volume of mortar. Continue, we need to calculate the total quantity of dry volume of mortar by adding the wastage percentage of the mortar. Besides that, we also need to calculate the quantity of cement and the quantity of sand. And if we need to calculate the total quantity of cement and sand, we also need to add the wastage percentage of the cement and sand respectively. Continue, we will need to calculate the weight of the cement by multiplying the density of cement and the total quantity of the cement. We also need to calculate how many bags of cement that we use for the brick wall. And we also need to calculate the weight of the sand by using the same function just now. And next, and finally, we will need to calculate the total cost of the materials. Firstly, we will calculate the total cost of the total number of bricks, and then we also will calculate the total cost of the bags of the cement. Lastly, we need to calculate the cost of the sand by first we need to calculate how many tons of sand that we use and get the total cost of the sand. As a conclusion from the program, we can find the number of bricks that we use, the number of bags of cement that we use, and the weight of sand that we use, and finally calculate their cost. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Nazrul Mubin, 150259. Okay, for my part, I will explain about the flowchart. Okay, first of all, we need to run the program. Okay, after we run the program, we insert some of the input. The input is length, height, and width of wall and bricks, thickness of mortar, wastage of bricks and mortar, ratio of cement and sand, wastage of cement, price of one bag of cement, wastage of sand, and price of 1 ton of sand. Okay, after that, we end our command and the program will automatically calculate the output. Okay, the output is as follow: the volume of okay, so we can get the output volume of wall and bricks, the length, height, width, and volume of bricks with mortar, number of bricks and total bricks used after. Consider wastage, quantity of mortar required each bricks, total volume of mortar used, dry volume of mortar and the total volume after. Consider the wastage, quantity of cement for bricks and the total quantity of cement after. Consider cement wastage, the weight of cement used and the total of bag cement needed, quantity of sand for bricks and the total of quantity of sands we needed, and lastly the total cost for cement and sand needed to build the whole construction. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amir Hab, student ID 151935, first year civil engineering student. After hearing the explanation given by my fellow teammates regarding the application of MATLAB in determining the quantity of materials and its costing to build the wall, in my parts, I will briefly conclude and discuss what have been gone through in our project. Okay, for my part is discussion part. Okay, from the slide we can see the list what we can say about the data and the comment window just now that was briefly explained by my teammates. Okay. Firstly, we can determine the volume of walls and bricks. Second, the thickness of the mortar is determined by multiplying length by multiply by height multiply by width bricks with the mortar. Thirdly, we can determine the number of bricks required by this using the application. Fourth, we can calculate the volume of mortar required. Fifth, we also can determine the weight of cement and sand required. Six, for each material required, we can determine also the actual amount needed after considering the waste cement required, which is our objective of this application lab in this project. Next, after the discussion, we can conclude that overall, it can be said that MATLAB program contribute a great amount of help and serve as a calculation mechanism. By implementing this method, we can avert the shortage of excessive material used to build a wall. Thus, the cost of material can be used wisely and prevent from misspend of the material. In addition, instead of a wall, we can also widen this calculation method by applying the other part of construction theme by using the application. Indeed, by the methodological technique and expertise in using MATLAB, this feature can be explored more in the various fields of knowledge other than engineering, and as an extensive tool that help us to solve certain problems. That's all from me. I represented my fellow teammates, which all dedicated to contribute to this project. Gratefully, thanks to our lecturers that guided us during this semester and also introducing us to MATLAB program, which can benefit us as a civil engineers in the future. Last but not least, we want to express our gratitude to Associate Professor Dr. Fazli bin Muhammad Nazri, Dr. Mastura binti Azmi, and Dr. Rosnani binti Al-Akrimiyah for your guidance during this semester. Without their teaching, we won't able to be able. Without the teaching, we won't be able to accomplish such a feat today. Thank you.